Good morning, everyone. I would like to officially start our meeting at 9:32, morning, July 19th. And if you would rise, typically to open our meeting for our guests that are here, we have a moment of silence and the pledge following immediately, and I'll help lead that. Just today, I'd like to mention that there's two families that we can keep in our hearts as we say have some silence today. Also, some of you, this may be a difficult time, has some folks you would like to mention in your hearts as well. We've lost we've lost two people this past week, and I just wanted to highlight them. One was our night maintenance person that had a medical issue, and so we'd like to we've been working in this building, and we don't really get to know them that well because they're the night crew, but wow, the work they do and the importance that they have. So I'd like to mention that family and the family of that gentleman. And the other person is Georgette Wenton. You might remember, it was one of the early things back in December of 2021, 15th of December 2021, we recognized Monroe County became a Hidden Heroes County. And what that meant was of the veterans, the families of the veterans that worked so hard for our country, we were taken into that, all the families of those veterans that help the veterans that are maybe home or ridden or volunteering, all kinds of things. Georgette Wenton was here with us to receive that award. She really brought that whole concept to Monroe County. She passed away this past week as well. She had cancer. She had been fighting cancer. So our thoughts and prayers go out to her family as well at this time. Okay. So a moment of silence followed by the pledge. Thank you. Our pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, we start first with public comment, agenda items only. Public comment, agenda items only first. Yes, seeing none. Moving on, corrections to the duplicate. I see our chief assessor here, Cindy Tribal.
We have additions of 249,970 and subtractions of 597,520. Minus 347,450.
Here, a motion to accept.
Motion to accept the corrections to the duplicate. Second.
Second, any further discussion? Any commissioners? Hearing none, seeing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay. Thank you. Indeed. Old business. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes of the July 5th, 2023 Commissioners meeting?
So moved. Second.
Yeah, first and second. Discussion? Hearing none, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Moving on to proclamations and certificates. Letter A, we have Pennsylvania's Empowered Expert Residents. It's a program that Pleasant Valley Manor has for the folks that reside there. And we'd like to list all those folks that will be receiving certificates, and the commissioners will be there to help with that. And then followed, is there anybody here from Pleasant Valley Manor representing that? At this time, no. Okay, so they'll be taking care of them coming up. We have certificates for all of them. And now part B, letter B, we have Quiet Valley Living Historical Farms celebrating their 60th anniversary. We do have representatives here. We are so honored to have Jamie Kaiser and Gary and Sue Euler this time. Would you like to please stand up? This we need to face the group. Face This way, yeah, and then we'll turn around. That's good.
Line.
There you go, okay. Okay. I had the honor on Saturday to go over to Quiet Valley where they had a birthday cake and a birthday party honoring the 60 years, and it was a lot of fun. We got to pet the horses and see the piggy wiggies and the goats, and it was just really cool. So in honor of the certificate of special recognition to Quiet Valley Living Historical Farm on your 60th anniversary celebration, thank you for your many contributions to Monroe County. Congratulations and continued success. So we have Sue and Gary Euler, who actually, your mom
My mom and dad and Gary and I were all in.
the very beginning
Right.
are here to be with us, and our director and president of the group, Jamie. And so here we are, and thank you very much.
Well, thank you.
Sue, you mentioned, take a moment or two just to talk about those beginning days back on the farm.
Okay.
Being a farmer's daughter, I need to go ahead.
It was quite an exciting adventure to our marriage. And my mom had this dream. My dad worked for Soil Conservation Service, and it was his job to plot the soils of Monroe County. And he came upon this little farm, and he got out and got his sample, and he was confronted by Mrs. Hess. What the heck was he doing on her property? And so he pacified her a little bit. The conversation turned to, well, if you like this place so much, why don't you buy it? And that struck a real chord with him because my mom had wanted to start a living history farm. So what was she going to do? I don't know how she thought she was going to pull this off, but a couple of years later, Gary and I, who had graduated from Penn State and had met at Penn State on a blind date, were confronted by her, would we be willing to help her? Much to my surprise, Gary said, absolutely, I'd love to have a farm. And so we moved to the area. We miraculously got teaching jobs in Bangor, and we taught and worked and started Quiet Valley 60 years ago. It's been a wonderful place to be, the support of our community, our friends, our family. What a great place to raise our children. And though we retired many, many years ago, we're still quite involved as volunteers. Anything you want me to add to that?
No, I think that background, Jamie, would you like to say a few things? You've just actually taken over recently.
Yes, the executive director, and I just, what an honor and privilege to be a steward of Quiet Valley. I remember going there as a child myself on a field trip, so I'm just really in awe of what the Euler family has created for our community. And I welcome all of you to come visit us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you.
You're welcome to stay, or you're welcome to go out the back door. It's probably easier to go around this way.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Okay. Moving on to.
Motion to approve.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thanks, John. I always forget that.
Second.
Okay, first and second, any discussion? Hearing none,
I just want to say that Empowerment Expert Residence is through all the nursing homes throughout the county,
Oh, good.
not just Pleasant Valley, man.
That's, I didn't realize that. Thank you for clarifying that. Any other discussion? Hearing none, seeing all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Now moving on to new business. Do I hear a motion to approve the actions listed in number 1, personnel agenda, A and B?
So moved.
Second.
First and second, any discussion? Hearing none, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 2, electronic financial transactions ratified. Do I hear a motion to approve the actions listed in number 2, items A, B, and C?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
We have a first and second. Any discussion, questions? Hearing none, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, moving on to item 3, travel authorizations, approve and ratify. Do I hear a motion to approve the actions listed in item A?
So moved.
Second.
First and second, any questions, discussion? Hearing none, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Item 4, motion to approve the actions listed in number 4, Monroe County Children and Youth Services, items A, B, and C.
So moved.
Second.
First and second, any discussion?
I'd like to say, we received today notification that the 4E audit that the state does on the money from children and youth came back with no findings today, which is they do a yeoman's job over there in the fiscal department of children and youth. It's an over $15 million budget that they work on. Congratulate them.
Thank you. And thank you, Commissioner Christie, you serve on that board, so thank you. How many years? Quite a few. Okay. Your first and second, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Commissioners, item 5. I hear a motion to approve the actions listed in number 5, the Commissioner's Office, items A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and I.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
First and second. John, if you notice, I is the allocation of $200,000 from the Opioid Settlement Fund as Monroe County share for carbon black fentanyl awareness campaign. We are in the process to start a campaign to help people understand and be aware of the seriousness and the dangers of the problem with opioids. Having said that, Carbon has also approved their plan for $200,000, and we are joining that, and Pipe is in the process as well. We're looking forward to get that awareness out and get that information out to our public in Monroe County.
This is a result of the lawsuit that was against the big pharma. Mainly, there were 2 manufacturers. Over 18 years, Monroe County is going to get $7 million, or $7,074,544. And this is just from that lawsuit. There's other lawsuits that are coming out. The thing that kind of hamstrings us is that it's only for opioid addiction. So people has to deal with fentanyl and opioids. It can't be used for anything else. That's the downside. Because oftentimes as drugs come into favor, others go out of favor, and we're always chasing our tail a little bit in how we approach things. But those who are suffering from opioids will have increased services that we can take that other money that we would use for opioids for other uses. So it's a very good thing.
Working with MHDS services.
Drug and alcohol.
Yes. Okay, any other discussion?
And you want to talk about Adopt America 250 PA?
Adopt America 250 PA was started by legislation by the state of Pennsylvania. What it is to promote how do I say it, John?
That's why I
The
asked you to do it.
250th
anniversary, right.
Quadricentennial, 500.
So what we're
Sharon's
doing.
got it. Let me. Is that it?
No, that's not it.
That's not it. Oh, so
So
whatever word makes 250 years.
So what we're doing with that is by putting in this resolution, we're out of the 67 counties, I think there's 54 of them have signed on to this. So we're also signing on to it. What we'll try to do is get together a volunteer organization of people that are interested in the history, and what we should be able to do is tell the history of Monroe County. There is a meeting tomorrow by the Historical Society at Shawnee Inn, and the professor is giving a talk on early influences in Eastern Monroe County. So we have a vast history, and what we will be able to do is, up until 2026, is highlight that history. One of the other things that you see, the budget adjustment report of $306,000, $44,800 of that money came from, it goes to the aging for a block grant, and about $210 goes to allocations that we have for CSBG. That goes to help support organizations such as Catholic Social Services, Salvation Army Rental, Salvation Army Case Management, Stroud Regional Parks, Family Promise. Go ahead, you can read it.
No, I don't have them here.
Pocono United Way, PATH, Resources of Human Development, and the Salvation Army's Energy Direct and Meals on Wheels. So those allocations will be given to those organizations.
Okay, any other? Hearing none, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Thank you. Motion to approve the actions listed in number 6, Monroe County Transportation Authority, items A and B.
So moved.
Second.
However you want to do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any discussion? Hearing none, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Number 7, item number 7, Monroe County Conservation District, item A. Motion to approve the actions listed, item A, Monroe County Conservation District.
So moved.
Second.
First and second, any discussion? Hearing none, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? And number 8, computer capital purchases. Do I hear a motion to approve the actions listed in number 8, item A?
So moved.
Second.
This is a unit that's going into children and youth, kind of a year-end budget closeout for technology. It will allow them to have a better process for having meetings so that they can do both hybrid and in person.
Under miscellaneous, we do have a representative right behind Marla. Want to stand up, come up front, and I'll let you talk here. I think that's a good. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, this is Sally Graham. Turn around and tell everybody what you're all about. This is important, what your company is going to be doing and helpful with as we respond to the disaster we had at Fountain Court. What, about a month ago now?
Yes, June 25th.
Well, when was it? June?
June 25th.
There you go. Okay, just shy of a month.
So my name is Sally Graham, and I am a public information officer with the Office of Disaster Recovery and Resilience with the Small Business Administration. We are deployed here for the next 2 weeks. We have opened a business recovery center at the Pocono Township Municipal Building for any business in Monroe County. Not only the businesses that were at Fountain Court Mall who had the physical damage, but this is disaster recovery to help the entire community, businesses as well as nonprofits rebuild. Because maybe, I understand that the Fountain Court Mall area was an important economic corridor, but I also understand that it was a gathering place. So people would go there and then sometimes go to other businesses. Those businesses may see a loss of revenue months down the line. So I am here and the team at the Business Recovery Center that's out of the Township Municipal Building. Those hours are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. It closes permanently Thursday, August 3rd at 4 p.m. So it's important to come and visit us. What we are here for is the Economic Injury Disaster. This is a working capital loan that will help businesses with their operating expenses that they would normally have been able to pay if the disaster had not occurred at Fort Lauderdale. The incentives for this are there's no fee to apply. For businesses, it's a fixed interest rate of 4%. For nonprofits, it's a fixed interest rate of 2.375%. Interest will not accrue for 12 months from the first disbursement. There is no payment for the first 12 months. There's no cost to apply. And you can receive up to $2 million for your economic injury to help pay and rebuild your business. Operating expenses, that's what the program is for. I've already met with the Monroe County Emergency Manager, Director Keegan, and understand there's some translations that would be needed for businesses. There's no issue there. At the BRC, the Business Recovery Center, we have a simultaneous translation service. So whether you are a Vietnamese business owner or a Thai business owner or a Spanish-speaking business owner. And after today's meeting, I'll be meeting with the Pocono Chamber of Commerce to provide that information for them to amplify. I don't have my digital flyer to provide all of you, but once that's approved, I ask that you share it on social media or webpage. Whatever I do right here, whatever I can get.
Very good. Okay.
How much interest has there been so far, Sally?
Well, we opened yesterday, great question, at 10 o'clock. We did have somebody arrive before the actual opening, so they got an orientation, and any business owner can come just learn about what documents they would need. They will go through the process. So we have friendly people, George, Jackie, Glenn, to help any of the business owners or people involved with nonprofits. Again, it's open for 2 weeks. Please take advantage while we're here. You can apply online at no problem. You can also call if you prefer a paper application. And the deadline is
April 15th.
Yeah.
April 15th, 2024. But don't not take advantage of the fact that we're here on the ground where you can get one-on-one counseling on this program. Thank you very much to the Monroe County Board of Commissioners for
Thank
allowing
you.
me to speak.
Well, what I think you meant was to have her stick around a little bit.
We just did a story on it. Yes, when they opened. We just, so,
Oh, they just-
Yes.
Okay.
right?
Yes, yes.
You're hauntingly familiar, Deborah.
Yeah, right.
2822.
Okay.
Eyewitness News.
Well, no, this is Jen.
Oh, no, we,
Well, she was at Pocono. I don't know if she talked to you.
okay, she didn't talk to me, but that's fantastic.
Okay, I could do an interview with you
Oh, great.
if she didn't talk to you.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. All right, we're moving on to public comment. Go ahead, sir. Would you stand up and please say who you are and
How you doing? I'm Robert Helvick. I'm a supervisor, sergeant, I should say, at the Modern County Correctional Facility. I just wanted to, I guess you should say, let it be known that me as one of the supervisors there trying to get a proposed job description update brought to your attention because it was told by the Human Resource Department that in order for us to get a potential raise and or a pay scale class change, it would have to be done versus a job description update. And we were told by the warden that he would be trying to take care of this for us, but we just wanted to make sure it was brought to your attention that this was actually going to be brought forth and possibly made an update, because at this current time, myself and I think 7 out of the 13 supervisors are currently at a pay rate that is substantially less than most of the officers at the facility right now. And to have be a supervisor and have our subordinates get paid more than us is a little bit insulting in a sense, especially because we get paid to supervise them, let alone everyone at the correctional facility there. So we're getting paid to make these decisions, and a lot of things fall on our shoulders, especially myself that works overnight, that is personally in charge of the whole facility by myself, 3 out of 5 nights a week sometimes. But I just wanted to make sure that things of that nature were hopefully being taken care of to bring a raise to us this next year, especially with the notation that officers are going to be getting another 4% raise this year. And I did a little math calculation myself. In order to even get to their level at their base salary for a top officer, I would probably myself need almost a 15% raise. And I know that's probably a lot to ask for, and I in hopes, down the road one day this might be able to get leveled. But I just want to let this be known.
Okay, no, thank you very much. And you are following the procedures, which we appreciate. Going through HR, we'll bring it to the prison board's attention, which then we will also help with that procedure.
Yeah, we had a meeting with HR at the beginning of this year, I want to say February. They came to the correctional facility, and at the beginning of the meeting, because we even tried bringing this to your attention last year, they barely even started the meeting. We were told that nothing was getting done this current year for 2023 because the budget was already in,
Okay,
which is understandable. But like I said, I just want to get a head start for next year, because I'm in this for the long haul. I've only been back as a supervisor for a year and a half, but I got 5 years in the county now. But I got 15 years in my life here as a young guy looking to buy a home and things like that. That obviously salary would mean a huge difference to achieve my future here with the county, let alone make some life things happen there.
exactly. Thank you very much. Okay, any other public comment?
Don Kubik, you guys know me from jail. Before I get started, I just want to touch base on something. Basically, like you said at the beginning, you kind of made a recognition for some people who passed away recently. I wasn't present for a couple meetings recently. I don't know if there's any recognition made. I want to make public recognition to somebody who was a county employee who passed away on June 29th. It was Tracy Lefevre DeSimone. She was Carl DeSimone's wife. Carl DeSimone was a correctional officer for 34 years at the correctional facility. Tracy worked from 1989 to 1995 at the correctional facility. Lost her battle with cancer back in June, passed away. I see county employees get these recognitions all the time. They get retirement recognitions, plaques, comments in these meetings. We at the jail get nothing. We're behind those walls. We're completely forgotten about. So I'm going to put out that Tracy lost her life after a battle with cancer, left a husband 34 years, a daughter. So I just wanted to put that out there first and foremost.
Well, thank you for bringing that to our attention.
Secondly, I didn't even plan on this. I didn't know Sergeant Elder was coming. Touch on what he's saying. There is a lot of issues with the pay out there for these guys. You guys are part of the prison board. You see, we cannot hire supervisors from within. That should open your eyes if there's a problem. The problem is the pay, and the problem is the treatment of these guys, the way these guys get treated. They don't speak up for fear of retaliation because they see the things that people like myself go through for speaking up. A lot of issues at the jail, we've been addressing them for years. Pay is a big issue when it comes to supervisors. Nobody like myself who's been there for 18 years wants to step into that position and take a major pay loss. It doesn't make any sense. These guys deserve a lot more money. Their job descriptions completely changed with COVID. The court that goes on, that we took over from the courthouses, central booking changed. Everything has changed for these guys. Their pay needs to be adjusted, and they're getting jerked around. They're getting jerked around bad. And if I got to start speaking up for them, I'll speak up for them, and I'll start looking up the facts. There's a lot of issues with these guys. It's a big issue. They deserve it, and they keep getting told the same thing we get told, like you just told them. We'll bring it to the prison board, we'll talk about it, which means absolutely nothing. We can do nothing. That's foremost with them. So now I'm going to touch on some other stuff. I was here a couple weeks ago, brought some issues to your guys' attentions about complaints. You guys thanked me as always, told me they'll be looked into. So I'm just going to leave the floor open to see if any of that stuff was looked into and if there's any information in response to those things I brought up back on June 21st or 22nd, whatever the meeting was. If there's any response from that from you guys.
I'd like to mention that we cannot discuss many of the things that you discussed the last time you were here based on HR, based on personnel issues, based on this, three of us. Really, we discuss these kinds of things and take action at prison board because understanding, you must understand, which I think you probably
Very well
do.
do.
Excuse me?
Very well understand.
That we are just three of us at the prison board, which is five.
So you guys are the majority.
Yeah, well, yeah, but that doesn't, that's not the point, sir. Whenever you have a discussion over personnel and things like that, it's everybody that's part of that discussion that has a vote, not just the three of us. And I think that excuse me, that's really important for people to understand about county business is it takes two of us. However, on other boards, it takes different numbers. So that's the way actions move forward. We are going to thank you for your time.
I have a lot of other stuff to address. There's a couple other issues I need to address. You guys are taking this stance like you're about to do right now of cutting me off because you guys do not like to address.
No, I'm not going to cut you off. I'm going to postpone you. And John, would you see it's appropriate to recommend the prison board?
I can't go to the prison board because I was written up the last time I came here for using benefit time. You guys advised me to use benefit time to come here. I did that the last meeting and I was retaliated against by the same supervisor who I have named in my complaints that you yelled at me last time for bringing his name up. I used benefit time to come here under a good faith effort to raise issues of jail issues as a whistleblower for things that are going on at the jail. And I was immediately retaliated against by the same supervisor and issued 2 different forms of discipline for being here that day. And you want to postpone this and address it. You just went through your whole prison board and how it works. I'm well aware of all that. So let's speak about county policies, where the problem-solving policy is you guys are the top. And when problems are brought to you, you are to look into them, investigate them, and respond in writing. Where is my response in writing for 2.5 years of complaints I have filed to you? That is a dereliction of your duties. It is a dereliction of the prison board duties. You're not even following the policies. I keep hearing, we will look into this, we will look into this, we will look into this. I'm not getting a response as per your own policy. I am correct. You guys, like, the way I get loud and I come here and raise these issues and it's me, you guys are blowing all these things off like I'm blowing smoke up your butts. Like, these are real issues. Wanda Rivera, somebody tried to murder her at the hospital a couple weeks ago. You guys are aware of this.
I think it's time. I think it's time, and you're repeating yourself, which I understand.
So when will I get responses as per the policy for my complaints? I need written responses as per your policy.
I've mentioned this before, and I know that this gentleman doesn't agree with me, but as your attorney, I have to remind you, you do not have the authority to engage in public discussion on the operational issues of the correctional facility. That is the prison board.
Mr. Dunn, am I asking public, or am I asking for the written complaints that I submitted as per the county problem-solving policy, page number 21 in the county policy, the problem-solving policy, the last step of that policy, step 3C on page 22, is if the employee is not satisfied with their elected official or department head's decisions, he or she may contact these commissioners, or that's step 4, I'm sorry, for their response for a final resolution in writing. I'm not getting those. I'm not asking for them to rule in public. I know we're not talking about, people being allowed to resign for having inappropriate relationships with inmates and things. It's because we don't want it to be in the public eye, like things like that happen. I know we're not talking about that in public because the public doesn't need to know certain issues. They're hidden behind the walls of the prison. That's just a fact of prison, whether I agree or disagree. I'm asking for the responses to the written complaints that I have submitted, that I haven't given to the news, that I haven't put in the public eye, that have been submitted to these individuals in their capacity as per the policy. When will I get my responses?
If the items of which you're complaining relate to the operation of the correctional facility, the operation by law is the responsibility of the prison board.
And that's the majority of the board, right?
They're not the majority of the board.
They are the majority of the board because the president judge recuses herself, right?
If you let me finish, I'll tell you why they're not the majority of the board. Because all 3 of them do not necessarily vote the same way.
But it's the majority of them. They might not vote the same way.
That's right.
We're playing a roundabout. He might vote yay,
Well,
he might vote nay.
Again,
she
I
might
know
vote
that you
yay.
disagree with me.
Is that the majority of the board right there?
I know that you disagree with me, but this has been the law since long before I was, well, not long before I was, but long before you started coming and complaining about the operation of the correctional facility. This board is not allowed to discuss, I've told them this, to discuss in public at a public meeting when those items are by law to be considered by the prison board. Just because they constitute 3 of whatever many people there are in the prison board, and other prison board members choose not to participate, doesn't make them the majority.
Absolutely does.
Well,
There's
Yeah.
7 members of the board, and of the 7 members, including the president, judge, and the DA, which do not attend, but we need a majority of 4 people, so 4 people have.
To make a decision.
Yes, so they're only 3, so
Why am I
they
not getting a
couldn't
written
decide.
decision? And I'm not asking for a prison board decision. Does this county policy, does the county manual apply to all county employees?
depends on what the complaint is of the
Does the
employee.
county manual apply to all employees? I'm not asking about my complaint.
Depends
Does
on
the
what the
county
issue
manual
is.
apply to all employees?
Depends on what the issue
So let's
is.
go back to page 1 of the county manual.
I'm
It
not
says it
going to
applies
argue.
to all
I'm not going to
employees.
argue with
No,
you.
because you're playing a game, Mr. Dunn.
Well, if
You're
that's
playing
your
a
opinion,
roundabout
fine.
circle jerk
You're
game to
entitled
get
to
around
your
these
opinion.
issues. I'm not asking for a majority vote. I'm asking when I bring complaints. And let's get away from the operational complaints that I'm bringing about the facility. Let's step away from the operational, where I'm talking about safety issues and transports and weapons and not doing searches and drugs and hiring gang members, family members. Let's get away from that.
That has to do with the operation
That's the
of
prison
the
board.
correctional
I'm
facility.
saying, let's get away from that. Let's talk about when I have retaliatory problems with administration and my direct supervisors who are retaliating. I cannot go to them. So the county policy is I go to the director of the county, the commissioners, the HR director. It's in the policy.
You go to
right
the
there.
HR director.
And I did it, and her fact findings are false, and I have them.
Time out.
And I will show you, which I put that in writing to
But
you,
you can't.
so let's take it away. This is
You
why I
don't-
didn't want to raise what the
Alright.
issue was, but you're forcing my hand to raise the issue. I've addressed this issue with you. Why am I not getting a response if you're
issues-
the end of the fact
Well, if
finding?
they're your
issue?
personal complaints, they are personnel matters, and they would be discussed. They won't be discussed in open session.
No.
I'm not asking open session. I'm asking when will I get a written response? That's it. I'm not asking to discuss the issue. I'm asking, I have filed numerous complaints on these issues. When am I getting a response?
We will discuss that
Same
and
answer I've gotten for 3 years.
we will
This
discuss
board
that
is
and
a
let you know.
fucking joke.
Motion to adjourn.
Yeah.
Thank you. The meeting's adjourned, but if anybody else here that didn't have a chance to say would like to talk to the person,